Hi everyone. So it's Throwback Thursday and I have a throwback thought. I'd like to give you a little insight into my past that has made me the woman who I am today. So, someone asked me if I was happy. And for the first time in my life, I could say, yeah, I am. A lot of people think that I'm happy because I have a new love in my life. But no. I found happiness before him. He's just added happiness. A lot of people don't know that I went through depression from the time I was 13 to the time that I was 29. And I'm 32 now. A lot of people don't know that I almost died during my depression. So how did I live? I never knew the impact that my dad had on my life until I had my son. So, my dad used to tell my sisters and I that he would come pick us up. Sometimes he would, but the majority of the times he wouldn't. And we were hurt. We'd cry. But at the age of 15, I made the decision never to cry over my dad again. That's not to say that he still didn't hurt me though. So what I began to do is I began to bottle my pain. So every time he hurt me, I just bottled it. He hurt me again, I bottled it. When I had my son, all of that pain and all of that hurt I had bottled up, it exploded. I became overwhelmed with thoughts. The father of my son and I didn't live together. I never wanted my son to feel the same pain I felt. I never want him to feel the same hurt I felt. I never want my son to say to me, Mama, why my daddy don't want me? I never want my son to be like my dad. So, all those thoughts overwhelmed me. I went from weighing 179 within a month weighing 139. I was dying. So how did I live? The first thing I had to do was I had to forgive my dad. And that was hard because he never apologized for the pain and hurt that he put my sisters and I through. So I had to forgive somebody that never apologized for what they did. And that was hard. But the second step was even more hard. And that was accepting who he was. We often have this perception of who people should be, what they should do and how they should act. And when they don't fit into that mold, or if they don't fit into that perception, or if they don't do what you think that they should do, we become stressed out, disappointed, and hurt. So, I had to accept that my dad loved women, gambling, and drinking more than he loved his own kids. I had to accept that my dad loved us, but he didn't love us the way that I thought he should love us. Now don't get it twisted. I never gave up my perception of how he should be. I just accepted who he was, and that was reality. Now the third thing I had to do, it was fairly easy, and that was making the decision if I wanted him in my life or not. I had to make sure that he was conducive to my growth. I had to make sure that I didn't allow him to keep me in my depression. So what I decided to do was I decided to love him from a distance. I kept him in my life, but I love him from a distance. I still call him. I still check on him. If he ever needs anything, I will be there for him. Now that's the God in me. The hurt child in me wants to say, middle finger to you. I hope that you feel the same pain that you put me and my sisters through. But God won't let me operate like that. So once I followed those three principles, which were forgive, accept, and make a decision if I want that person in my life or not, weight was lifted off of me. So much weight was lifted off of me. So I applied those same principles to everybody in my life. And y'all, I won't lie, there are a lot of people that I had to let go because they weren't conducive to my growth. They weren't conducive to me getting out of depression. And they were childhood friends. And I know that they were mad at me, but I had to think about myself and my sanity and my life. There are some people that I love from a distance. I still call them, I still check on them, but I don't talk to them and I don't hang out with them as much as I used to. Once I start applying those principles to everyone who hurt me in my life, and there are a lot of people that hurt me in my life, I began to find my happiness.